Hi friends! So today I actually have an apology to make because I created this video that explains that there are over 20 uses and therefore more than 20 meanings for the word run. But since making that video, I have discovered that that is not true. The Oxford English printed dictionary, so not the online resources, but the printed book, Oxford English Dictionary, states there are over 600 different uses for the word run and therefore over 600 different meanings. It also lists that the word set has over 400 different meanings, different uses, and needs over 60,000 words to describe all of those different meanings and uses. So in today's video, I'm going to go through some of those other meanings of run, but only ones that I feel are relevant to your business English and your workplace English, as needing to know all 600 is definitely not necessary and a bit excessive. But of course, if you want to go and research all 600, as I said, it's only in the Oxford English Dictionary printed version. So you would have to either go and read that or do as much research as you can online to collect all of these 600 meanings for the word run. Hi, my name is Catherine. I'm a business English teacher and I help intermediate to advanced level students improve their English for the workplace. I definitely suggest subscribing if that is where you are in your English learning journey, as I post 2 to 3 times a week and I have a lot of interesting content on my channel. Now, as I said, not all of these are going to be using the word run. I'm also going to go through set and a couple of others as well at the end of the video. But we will start with run. Run across. Now, of course, the physical meaning of run across means to run across something, run across a bridge, run across a field. But I'm telling you the meaning of run across in terms of to meet someone accidentally or unexpectedly. I ran across Sarah in the supermarket. She's looking very healthy. I ran across our client at the store. They said they're still happy to go ahead with the project. Run across someone means to meet them unexpectedly, not plan to see them. If we go now, we may run across some of the directors as I know they are going to lunch now. Run by and run past can be used to mean, can I get your opinion? Or can you help me with this? Or can you read over this and just let me know if you think it's okay? So can I run an idea by you? Or can I run an idea past you? Both the same meaning. In these examples, it means, I have an idea, but I'm not sure if it works. I want a second opinion. Before I send this off to the client, can I run it by you? Can you read through? Can you have a look? I need a second opinion. This looks fantastic. Run it past HR first before you send it out. So get a second opinion from HR before you send this out to everyone in the company. Run in. Now, of course, you can run into a room, but the way I'm using it here and the meaning I want you to remember is an incident, to have a run-in. I had a run-in with someone on the weekend. It means to have a problem, an incident, some sort of accident. I had a run-in with the police. My daughter had a run-in at school. I had a run-in with the child's teacher. It doesn't mean a fight, it doesn't mean a huge problem, but it just means something occurred, something happened where you had to go and apologize or someone had to apologize to you. Something happened, something occurred. You can use this maybe if you're late, for example, to work and you don't really want to give the reason why because it's personal. You can say, I'm really sorry I'm late. I had a run-in at my child's school. Or I'm really sorry I'm late. I had a run-in on the way to work. Maybe you had an accident or maybe you got stopped by the police to check your license. Run up. Now, run up has quite a few different meanings, and the first one is to run up the flagpole. So a flagpole with a flag on it, we don't say put up or take up, we say run up. Run the flag up the flagpole. I imagine this comes from military or soldiers. It's more respectful than put up the flag. Run up the flag. But in terms of business English, if you describe someone as running up credit or running up a bill or running up debt, what we mean is they have collected so much debt, so much credit, or so many unpaid bills that they now owe this money. It's a negative thing. He ran up so much debt with the company that it had to declare bankruptcy. So we can use it to discuss a financial situation that is not very positive. He was addicted to gambling and therefore ran up a lot of debt. If we add against at the end of that, so it becomes run up against, what we mean is to encounter problems. The plans for the new bridge ran up against strong opposition from the local people. So it encountered a problem. People were trying to stop the bridge being built. It came across a problem. This grand idea has been around for decades and often runs up against technical and economic barriers. So something is stopping this idea go ahead. Our efforts may run up against the budget set by the head of sales. So our efforts, no matter how hard we try, they will be opposed or they will be rejected because the budget that we have been set is smaller than what we are expecting. So it's to come up against a problem or an encounter that may cause you problems. Now, with the word set, we often use this to describe a full or complete collection of something. A set of golf clubs means an entire, a full, a complete collection of golf clubs. Ordering a set at a restaurant means ordering a complete menu or a full selection from the menu. I was late for work, so I forgot my full set of worksheets. I only brought half of them, for example. But we often see set used with a preposition to create phrasal verbs that we see very often, very commonly in business English. To set about is to start doing and is used in the same way as you would use start doing. I will set about doing that now, meaning I will start doing that now. I will make a plan and start. We need a bigger team for Christmas. There's going to be more orders, more sales. Okay, no problem. I'll set about sorting out a team. We lost a lot of our clients because of the email that was sent out. Okay, today I will set about sending out apology emails to every single client. It's to start doing something, to put a plan into action. Set apart. Now, this is to distinguish, to be different from. And we often see this in interview questions. What makes you different from your colleagues? What sets you apart from your colleagues? Why do you think you should have this job? What sets you apart? What makes you different? But in a positive way. This is a positive thing. We need to find a marketing strategy that will set us apart from our competitors. All of the candidates pretty much had what we were looking for, but I think candidate 5 really had that edge. It set him apart from the others. To be different from, distinguished from. Set aside. Now, to set aside can be physical, to physically put something to the side. I will set aside this vase so that I can carry the shopping. Or please set that aside so it doesn't break. But when we use it in a business sense, what we are saying is put that to one side. Don't think about that right now. If you could set aside whatever you are working on and come to the meeting. Put it to one side, come to the meeting, you can continue when the meeting is finished. I wouldn't worry about client Z, set their project aside until they have paid their invoices. Put it to one side, don't worry about it right now. We need them to pay before we continue. So it's like to hold on, to wait a moment, to put it to one side. Setback. Now, a setback is something that puts you back. So let's say, for example, you're launching a new product on Friday, but let's say it's tennis shoes, but the size UK 7, which is the average size for a man in the UK, you don't have any. So you cannot launch that product if you don't have enough of that product to sell. So you would say, The launch of the new tennis shoes has been set back due to lack of sizing. Set back, like put back or stopped temporarily. Or I may say, everything was going really well, the business was improving every day, and then we had a massive financial setback. It's like something occurred, something happened that stopped us improving, stopped us moving forward, and we had to come back, think about what we were doing, discuss what we were doing, and how we would go forward. What solution would we find? Set off. Now, this is an interesting one because there are many meanings for set off. So the first is to set off an alarm. So if you live in an office, if you live in your office, if you work in an office building and the alarm goes off, someone will say the alarm has been set off. Or maybe the opposite, you've burnt toast and you don't want to set off the alarm in the office building. But it can also mean to start a journey. We set off at 7 a.m. We started our journey at 7 a.m. We left our living spaces at 7 a.m. and started our journey. Set off. The flight set off at 12 p.m. My colleague and I set off at 8 a.m. for the conference in Munich. The next meaning I want you to be aware of for set off is a visual contrast. So what does that mean? Well, it's something that is contrasting, opposites, but looks good together. So for example, black and white are very, very opposite, but a black and white t-shirt or a black and white photo looks very good. It looks very eye-catching. So you may say, the black really sets off the white, or the black and white image really sets off the tone. It's like a visual contrast. It makes you feel good when you look at it. Or maybe you've got new signage at work. The green really sets off the brand logo. The visual contrast looks very positive. It's good. It stands out from the crowd. And the final use for set off is to start an effect. Set something in motion. When the CEO left, that set off a number of redundancies in the company. So the CEO leaving created this effect, created this action. A lot of people left because they went with the CEO. Or the bad financial year we had set off a number of redundancies. Of course, this can be used in the positive as well. Learning English set off a number of opportunities for me in terms of work. So your learning English has set off this action that you can now do. You can now apply to English speaking roles. Set out. Now, set out is also the start of a journey, but it's with the goals and targets in mind. The market research team set out to get some more feedback from our customers. So they started this journey to find out something, to get some information. When I started this business, I set out with the intention of improving customer service in the tech industry. You're starting something. You're starting a journey with a goal, a target. And the final set for you today is set up. Now, I think maybe you know this one, to set up something, set up a business, set up a plan, set up an organization. But I wanted to include it in here because you will see it all the time. And I just think it's important that you're aware that you can use it in pretty much any example. If you want to meet a client, when are you free to set up a time to meet? If you want to start your own business, I am thinking of setting up my own business. If you're working in collaboration with someone, let's set up a plan on how we will move forward. The Oxford English Dictionary also states that the word go, the word stand, and the word take have over 300 different meanings and uses each. I will not go through all of them as we could be here for the rest of the day. Here are a few important ones that I think you will come across in the workplace. Go about. Now, to go about is to do something, to be busy, to be working on. Tomorrow, I will go about collecting all of my clients' emails and contact addresses. Past tense of go is, of course, went. Yesterday, he went about his day as though he had no deadlines. So it's to work on something. To go ahead with. Now, to go ahead with means to move to the next phase, to agree to something moving forwards. If you are happy with the plan, we can go ahead with setting up a meeting. If you agree to my hourly rate, let's go ahead and get our first lesson scheduled in the calendar. Maybe you've created a strategy and you've shown it to the team lead or the manager or head of marketing, and they say, yep, go ahead with that. Yes, move forward, continue. To go back on. Now, to go back on is to change your opinion or initially say yes, but then something happens and you take that back and say no. He went back on his promise. The company initially placed a $10,000 order, but they went back on product X. So they changed their mind about product X. I'm worried that the client will go back on what they agreed to. They keep asking lots of questions. So it's to change your mind. But typically, it has a negative effect for someone else because you've already agreed to it, or it's started to be produced and you change your mind. Stand aside means to leave a position for someone else to do it. It doesn't always mean you leave the position entirely. It could just be temporary. So I'm training someone to be an English teacher and I say, I'll stand aside today and just watch you with the student. It's like I'm still there. I'm still watching you. I'm still going to give you feedback, but I'm not going to teach. I'm not going to say anything for you to be able to have your chance to prove that you can do it. Or maybe you are a trainee manager, trainee supervisor, trainee head of sales, and your head of sales, your manager, your supervisor says, today I'm going to stand aside and you're going to take the role. Meaning they're not going to give you any advice or help today. This is your chance to show them you can do it. You will get feedback after, but this is your opportunity to show them what you've learned. Stand by. Now, stand by means to be ready, to be waiting. If you have an old TV with a proper remote, you will see that the on-off button sometimes says stand by. And that's because it's not off completely. It's just waiting for you to do something else on the remote. So this is the same thing. At the London Marathon, they had 7 ambulances standing by. So meaning they're there, they are ready, they are waiting. We are still finalizing some ideas, but the legal team is standing by, ready for when we say yes, or ready for when we say go ahead. So they're ready, they're waiting, they know to be ready. That's the key here, is they know they need to be ready. You've told them, please be ready for this event. Stand down means to leave a position completely. So instead of saying someone was fired or was made redundant or quit, they stand down. It's almost like they agreed to leave the company and the company agreed as well. It was a mutual interest. So often you see this very high up with the C-suite level. So CEOs, CFOs, they will stand down. They have not been asked to leave, they have not quit, but the company and that person have both agreed that it would be best at this time for this person to remove themselves from the company. It's a mutual agreement. Stand for and stand in for. These have 2 very different meanings. So stand for is like your morals, your values, your beliefs. The company stood for environmental issues and sustainability. It's what they represent. It's their ethics, their morals, their values. So everyone will have their own ethics and morals and values. I have mine. I'm sure you have yours. And what you stand for, what you will tolerate, what you will allow, and what you will not allow. Stand in for means to take over from someone temporarily. So I stood in for my manager when she was sick. I would like you to stand in for me on Sunday because I won't be able to make it to the event. Take over from me temporarily. Take away. Now in the UK, we refer to take out, as Americans call it, getting food from a restaurant being delivered to your home as takeaway. So we would say take away Chinese, take away Indian, take away sushi, take away fish and chips. Whatever it is you're going to order, we would refer to it as takeaway. But I want you to use it in business English terms as to mean the main point, the main reason, the priority. So let's say you have a big conference and it goes on for 3 days. Someone asks you what was the main takeaway, and you say the main takeaway was everyone needs to be more sustainable, or everyone needs to push a little harder so we meet our yearly target. The main takeaway is the main point. What were they trying to tell you? You can use this in your personal life as well. So let's say you watch a movie and it's really good. You can say the main takeaway was, and whatever it was. Maybe you could let me know in the comments your favorite movie and the main takeaway from the movie. That's quite a good test for you. Take off. Now, of course, a plane takes off. When it starts flying, we call it takeoff. But we can also talk about an idea or a project. I wasn't sure the boss would like my new logo with the green color, but it really took off. And now every location we have is showing the green colored logo. I had an idea to increase the amount my team would get paid if they did overtime. It's really taken off. People are staying longer and doing lots more work, being much more productive. An idea goes well, starts working. And the last one for you today, take on. Now this means to accept a challenge, and I like this one because it really is about improving yourself and moving forwards, taking on a challenge. The boss wants me to take more responsibility at work. I'm not sure I can do it, but I'm ready to take on this challenge. I'm going to apply for jobs that are slightly more advanced than my current position. I'm ready to take on more work. Or I don't have any time in my schedule to take on anything new. It just means to bring on, take on, accept, agree to, or disagree to a new challenge, new responsibility. I think I will create individual videos for each of these, take, set, go, because it's very interesting how much the meanings can change just based on the preposition that follows the verb. So definitely keep an eye out for those. Subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you all have a fantastic week. Let me know what you thought of this video in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye.